Nessa girl, I got a question for that ass that I'm sure is going to start a lot of good debate. T.S. Madison and I talked about it yesterday in short, and a friend just texted me moments ago, and that's what prompted this video. The question is it a fair fight between a trans woman and a cisgender woman? Is that a fair fight? Now, before we dig down in this video, I am not claiming to be coming at y'all with the answer. I don't have the answer. I'm simply making you privy to how I think and my brainstorming process when I make videos, how I think things through. Before we get started, for some of you out there who are confused or don't understand what cisgender is, cisgender denotes or relates to a person whose sense of personal identity and gender correspond with their birth sex. So in this country, we say if you have a vagina, you're a girl. Okay, so cisgender means your gender identity, whether you're a girl or a boy, whether you like the colors blue, which is boy, or girl, which is pink, whether those things correspond with if you are male or female, the sexual organs in which you were born. So if you like the color pink and you like Barbies, that makes you a girl. And you have a vagina, that makes you cisgender. In slang and in ignorance, we say real fish, a real woman, born a woman, however you need to understand the arguments that we're about to explore. So the question on the line is it a fair fight if a trans woman and a cisgender woman get into a fight? I don't know. I know that the lion's share of people in the comments out there in the greater world are going to say hell no. I know for a fact that majority of people are probably going to feel that a trans woman is a man. That's a man fighting a woman. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. That's a man fighting a woman. And I respect it. I understand it. And there's also, scientific proof that can support the fact that people who are born male tend to be stronger physically, have more physical endurance, greater muscle mass, so on and so forth. So a very legitimate argument can be made. However, y'all know me, I'm a bit more evolved in my thinking, and I personally want to flesh out the fact that it depends. There are other variables. You can't just simply say by virtue of somebody being a man and somebody being a woman that it's an unfair fight because that's a man. Because let me ask you a question. If a 5'8", 145-pound man fights a 6 foot, 200-pound woman, is that a fair fight? Is he going to win solely because he's a man? I think not. So because being a man solely does not determine if one is going to win a fight, I think there's a couple other variables that we have to explore. I mean, how many of us saw that video on YouTube that went viral many years ago? It was a video probably from the 90s. It resurfaces every couple of years where this big black woman fighting her black husband or boyfriend, and she was dish ragging his ass all across the front yard and everything. I mean, how many of these videos do we see on World Star Hip Hop where women are beating men down? I mean, there are many women out there who can kick a man's ass any day. So we can't just use this blanket, litmus test. Oh, it's a man, it's unfair. And I get it. I get that we were all raised that way. I get that most people believe that a man should not hit a woman and so on and so forth. And I get all of that. And please, let's not send the conversation left and down that rabbit hole. We get it. Boys should not hit girls, so on and so forth. But we're talking here about trans versus cisgender, and what do you do? Like, what do you do when you have a trans woman who feels as if, who feels, knows, and in her mind, body, and soul was born a woman, occupies female spaces, hair salons, nail salons, clubs, ladies' nights, has nothing but cisgender woman friends. You know, she's one of the girls. What happens when Miss Trans Fish and Miss Real Fish get into a physical altercation? What is one to do? You know, Maddie made a very interesting point in reference to Sydney Starr being on Love and Hip Hop. She was like, Sydney has got to be very careful because we know what Love and Hip Hop gives. You know, when you sign up for Love and Hip Hop, it is a drink throwing, club fighting, reunion run across the stage situation. In the event that that happens, and let's just say Sydney Starr is not the aggressor. In the event that a cisgender woman in the hair salon slaps the shit out of Sydney Starr, what is she to do? You know, my words to Maddie were, Sydney is going to have to be very careful in how she responds in situations like that, because this trans stuff is still very new to the world. We're still navigating some very uncharted territories when it comes to gender roles and expectations. And I don't know that Sydney is going to be met. Let me not single out Sydney. Sydney or any trans woman is going to be met with much sympathy if she's slapped in the face by a cisgender woman as it relates to her retaliating. The greater world is going to come and fuck that. That's a man. That's a nigga. That's a dude. She's stronger than hell nah. That faggot. That's a faggot. Y'all faggots want to be women so bad. Hell no. And then Miss Trans Fish or Sydney Starr in this idea, because of a lot of ignorance, runs the risk of the cisgender woman going and getting her brothers, uncles, cousins, who are men, who are male, who are boys, who are cisgender men, to now come beat up on her. It is a very slippery slope. This is why I have always been of the opinion that there should not be an if-then statement when it relates to physical violence and physical escalation. I don't believe in all this, if it's a boy, then a boy can fight, but if it's a girl, then you should do this. And I hate this street shit that I find most common in communities of color, where people want to make the argument that if a woman hits a man, he should walk away, or he should restrain her, or he should, I've even heard this, he could shake her up, but he should never hit her. How about a woman shouldn't hit a man? How about a woman shouldn't hit anybody? How about a man shouldn't hit a man? How about a man shouldn't hit anybody? I honestly believe that if in this country, in American society, if we remove this if-then statement, if then, if this, then that statement from physical violence, that we could eliminate this conversation altogether. How about we remove gender from the equation and we relate to each other on the most basic of levels, which is being human, and say no human should hit another human. But if said human hits human, independent of gender, said human who hit human deserves the right to get the shit beat out of them and get their shit fucked up, okay? I have always been of the position, keep your goddamn hands to yourself, okay? There shouldn't be, I just don't get into this, you know, we send our kids to school and say if somebody hits you, hit them back, right? That's what we do very early. Very early in if somebody hits you, hit them back. Tell the teacher or hit them back. Then somewhere along the lines we transition to if to your boy child, if somebody hits you, hit them back just as long as it's a boy. But if it's a girl that hits you, don't hit her back. And here is what ends up happening. And I am not by any means advocating men hitting women, and I completely understand that men tend to be physically stronger than women. Here is my problem. By adding this caveat about men should not hit women, not in all instances, but in many, it emboldens women to jump up in men's face in public spaces, violate them in all kind of ways, because they've got this superhero complex, because they are expecting said man to abide by said rule that men don't hit women. How many of these videos have you guys seen on the internet where these females get in men's face and completely emasculate them? Oh, you bitch ass this, you punk, you this, all this in their face, and the poor guy is left there like, you know, what to do while this person is violating them. Once again, I'm going to reiterate my standpoint, which is, how about we remove gender from violence altogether and just say nobody should hit anybody? And at the point in which you touch somebody physically, you deserve to be met with the same force. Now, here's my thing. I am of the opinion that, you know, the same way they do in the boxing and the wrestling league, it's a weight class situation. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot tell me that a 6 foot, 200-pound woman hitting a 5 foot 5, 160-pound man, that ain't a fair fight either. And he's a man, but based on her size, he's not gonna win. You know what I'm saying? So this whole, just because he's a man don't necessarily mean he gonna win, and just because he's a man doesn't necessarily mean he's going to overpower said woman. You know what I'm saying? It's a very slippery slope. And because it's so slippery, I say we remove gender from it altogether and say, bitch, you better make sure when you hit some damn body that they in your weight class or that you can beat their ass. If not, you might be signing your ass up for an ass whooping. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this one. This one is very interesting, and it's definitely one of those that we are going to have to figure out as a nation as this trans movement continues to grow, evolve, become more accepted, welcomed, and mainstream. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this type of content, you like this line of conversation, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.